It was a golden afternoon in the quiet countryside of Willow Creek, where the air smelled of hay, sunflowers, and hard work. 17-year-old Lila Carter stood by the old red barn, her denim overalls dusted with soil and her hair tied in a messy braid. She was the kind of girl who never cared for fancy clothes or city gossip. Her life was simple, pure, and built around chores, cattle, and her love for horses. Every morning, she'd wake before dawn to milk the cows, feed the chickens, and tend to the fields alongside her grandmother. But despite her quiet strength, Lila had become a favorite target for the local high school bullies, city kids who thought her farm life was something to laugh at. They called her Cowgirl Lila or Hayseed in the hallways, sneering at her muddy boots and hand-me-down backpack. Yet Lila never fought back. She just smiled and kept walking. But this Friday afternoon was different. It was supposed to be peaceful, a day to enjoy after school, but fate had another plan, a plan that would change everything. As the final bell rang, Lila grabbed her bag and started walking down the gravel road that led to her family's farm. The sun dipped low, painting the sky in strokes of orange and pink. But before she could reach the turn, the growl of a pickup truck echoed behind her. Her stomach tightened. She didn't need to look, she already knew. It was Troy Benson, the ringleader of the bullies, and his two friends, Jake and Ryan. The trio pulled up beside her, the truck tires kicking up clouds of dust. "Well, if it isn't the little farm princess," Troy sneered, leaning out the window. "Where's your pitchfork, Lila? Or did your cows finally run away from you?" The boys erupted in laughter. Lila clutched her backpack and kept walking, her boots crunching against the gravel. She'd learned long ago that silence hurt them more than words ever could. But today, Troy wasn't in the mood to be ignored. He jumped out of the truck, blocking her path. "Hey, I'm talking to you," he barked, knocking her bag from her shoulder. The contents spilled across the dirt, notebooks, pencils, and a small photo of her and her mom. Lila froze. That picture was her treasure, a memory of her mother, Agent Sarah Carter, who she hadn't seen in months because of her demanding work at the FBI. Her mother had promised to return soon, but duty always came first. Troy noticed the photo and smirked. "Who's this?" "Your mom." "Oh wait, the one who left you to milk cows all alone." His voice dripped with cruelty. Lila's jaw tightened. "Give it back," she said softly. Troy waved the photo in the air like a trophy. "Or what? You gonna sick your chickens on me?" The other boys howled with laughter. But before Lila could move, Troy dropped the picture into the mud and stomped on it. Something snapped inside her. Her eyes, calm and green like spring leaves, darkened with fury. "I said, give it back." Her voice trembled but carried weight. For the first time, Troy hesitated. There was something in her tone that made him uneasy. But he quickly covered it with a grin. "Or what?" he mocked again, shoving her shoulder hard. Lila stumbled but didn't fall. She picked up the muddy photo, wiped it with her sleeve, and whispered, "You'll regret this." Troy laughed, but his friends went quiet. They didn't know why, but the wind suddenly felt colder. Lila turned and walked home, her steps firm, her mind racing. She didn't cry. Not this time. She went straight to the barn, fed the animals, and finished her chores. But that night, she sat by her window, staring at the stars. "Mom," she whispered, clutching the photo. "I wish you were here." The next morning, the farm was buzzing with energy. Lila's grandmother was preparing breakfast when she noticed black SUVs rolling up the long dirt driveway. The sight was strange, government vehicles didn't come out here. Lila ran to the porch, and her heart nearly stopped. From the first car stepped her mother, dressed in her signature black tactical jacket with the golden FBI insignia on the sleeve. Her presence was powerful, sharp eyes, calm confidence, and a voice that could command a room. "Lila," she said with a smile, arms open. Lila rushed into her mother's embrace, tears she had been holding back finally flowing freely. "Mom, you're home." Sarah hugged her tight, then pulled back. "I heard what happened." Lila blinked. "You did?" Her mother nodded toward the SUV convoy. "Let's just say I have friends who keep me informed." Behind her, 10 FBI agents stepped out, tall, uniformed, and serious. The ground almost seemed to shake under their boots. Mom, this isn't necessary, Lila began, but Sarah shook her head. When someone messes with my daughter, it is necessary. Her voice carried authority, not anger, but controlled justice. Word spread fast. Within an hour, half the town gathered near the high school football field, where Troy and his friends were lounging before practice. The roar of engines made them look up. The convoy of black SUVs rolled to a stop, and the doors opened in unison. Out stepped Sarah Carter, followed by 10 armed FBI agents in tactical gear. The crowd gasped. Troy paled. What's going on? He stammered. Sarah walked straight up to him, her gaze unwavering. Are you Troy Benson? He nodded, trembling. Good, she said coolly. You and your friends were caught harassing my daughter yesterday. You think bullying is funny? Troy swallowed hard. We didn't mean anything, no, Sarah interrupted sharply. You meant everything. You humiliated her, destroyed her property, and threatened her. That's not harmless teasing, that's intimidation. The crowd went silent. Even the principal stood frozen at the doorway, unsure what to do. Sarah turned to her agents. Show them what accountability looks like. The agent stepped forward, not to arrest, but to present a shocking sight, a file. One of the agents opened it, revealing printed screenshots, reports, and security footage. We monitor cyber activity around minors in this region, the agent said. Seems your so-called jokes were also posted online, tagged with your real names. Troy's face drained of color. You can't do this. We already did, Sarah replied firmly. The sheriff will decide what happens next. Then she turned to the crowd. Let this be a lesson, she said, her voice echoing across the field. Bullying isn't strength. Cruelty isn't power. And no matter who you are, justice always finds its way. Her gaze softened as she looked back at Lila. But forgiveness, she added, is the stronger choice. She placed a hand on her daughter's shoulder. Lila looked at Troy, who now stared at the ground, humiliated but humbled, and whispered, I forgive you. The bullies said nothing, but their silence spoke volumes. As the SUVs departed, the crowd began to applaud, first softly, then thunderously. That day, Lila Carter became a symbol in her small town, a symbol of quiet strength and grace under fire. She returned to her simple farm life, but things had changed. People respected her now. Even the bullies kept their distance, their arrogance replaced with newfound humility. Her mother stayed for a few days, helping on the farm, reminding her daughter that being kind didn't mean being weak. The world will always have bullies, Sarah said one evening as they watched the sunset. But it's how you stand up that defines you. Lila nodded, holding her mom's hand. I know, Mom. And next time, I won't need 10 agents, I'll handle it myself. Sarah smiled proudly. That's my girl. The screen fades to black as the narrator's voice rises. Microphone, no matter where you come from or what others say, never let anyone dim your light. Stand tall, stay kind, and believe in your strength. Sparkles, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories that inspire, shock, and move your heart. Sparkling Heart.